Okay, so we're now live, and I'm going to go ahead and tweet this out, and we're going to be talking about immigration on the whole. And I just got back from a family event, so it might take me a little bit to get my bearings to talk about this topic, but I considered doing a video about this a long time ago where I actually delve into the issue in and of itself on like a more moral sense, because it's funny to me that the left actually thinks that immigration as an issue is a moral winner for their side when I really don't think it is. If you were to ask me, uh, like I say in the chat, or excuse me, as I say it for the header or the title of this stream, I think honestly Republicans have won, or conservatives more so have. They've actually won on the issue of immigration, and it has simply been because the other side has gone so extreme and has refused to actually engage in the arguments being put forward that they have more or less um, they've proven themselves to actually be immoral. So even if you even if you were unable to concede the positions that generally stem from the right, you would just have to basically concede to the fact that, at least with conservatives, they're neutral, even if you don't want to accept their arguments. But with the left, and especially just Democrat partisans, they have abandoned the issue of the distinction between citizens and non-citizens, and the idea that there's any actual distinction in who should actually be represented and who should actually be protected by their own government. They have taken up the mantle of taxation without representation, that you can pay for a government to ultimately serve your interests, and that government can go ahead and just do whatever the fuck it pleases, and politicians can be out there stumping for rights to illegals, to foreign nationals. Like, that is a moral issue, and I do think that ultimately, and I unfortunately for this stream, I don't really have the articles handy. I'll take a look to see if I can find some articles on it, just to lay out what I mean by what I'm saying. But I really do think that, in large part, the issue has basically been discussed, and I'm here tonight to declare a winner. Like, I'm the referee, and I'm holding up the hand of uh, ostensibly the right, and I'm saying that on multiple levels. But the point that I want to make is morality. I think that honestly, because it's the argument of the opposite side, even if you were to take the standard of the other side as what is really the decider of who's actually right or wrong, I do think that morally, the right is more moral than the immoral left on this issue. So I wanted to just pitch this out there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to check the chat, and I'm going to talk about some of the issues that are being talked about now, like the issues that are going on at the border. It's being declared a crisis, the wall issue, and a few other things. And I guess where I'll start is to say that Stephen Miller, who is, let me check actually what Stephen Miller's role is. He is, in essence, the immigration czar. I don't know if he's actually, like, what his position actually is. Let me check. Is he advisor? Senior advisor, policy advisor for Donald Trump. He worked under Jeff Sessions. He was a speechwriter for Trump. Yeah, so he's, as far as I can tell, he is okay. So he's the White House director of speechwriting. Okay, I wasn't sure exactly what his title was. So yes, he's the speechwriter for Donald Trump, the White House director of speechwriting. So he's in charge of the speeches for Trump, and he is an advisor to Donald Trump on the issue, primarily on immigration. So the reason why I bring up Stephen Miller is because Stephen Miller to the left is basically worse than Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon, who the left has demonized as just the worst thing you can imagine, a white nationalist, a racist, everything that you can think of, but basically the worst labels that they could assign to somebody other than maybe pedophile because they couldn't get away with it. They have labeled him everything. And with Steve Bannon is woke on a few different issues, but the main issues of Steve Bannon are trade, which I think is number one, and the culture war. I think those are the two big issues with Steve Bannon. With Stephen Miller, they actually regard him as being worse because he is the immigration czar. He's the one that's whispering in Trump's ear on immigration, and he is what is called a hardliner. He's referred to as being far right, but I've never actually heard anything from his mouth that I would deem far right. Like, I've never heard him ranting and raving about Christianity. I've never heard him ranting and raving about, traditionalism or, anything that you could, or anything that would be philosophically conservative that doesn't fall in line with the idea of sovereignty. Citizens versus non-citizens, foreign nationals, and the idea of nationalism, or the concept of the separation between nation states. And that doesn't make you far right. That makes you fucking normal. That's one of the things that I can't stand about the current status of politics, is the idea that nationalism, it's simply the belief in a nation state, your own nation state. Not even America is the best nation in the world, or the UK is the greatest nation in the world, but simply the UK is a nation. The United States is a nation. They are separate. They are different. That's the only thing. You go no further. That makes you far right nowadays because of how far left many people have gone. And I say conservative because there are globalist Republicans that ultimately believe the same fucking thing. Ben Shapiro does not agree with Stephen Miller at all on the issue of immigration. They have mutually exclusive views on immigration. With Ben Shapiro, it's eliminate welfare and open the borders. With Stephen Miller, as far as I can tell, I don't even know what his position is on welfare. It is simply, we have borders, they matter, our immigration rate is too high, and we have too many illegals running around the country fucking things up. And if YouTube could stop being a piece of shit and actually allow me to see this event so I can see the comment section, I would really appreciate that, YouTube. I'd really appreciate if I could see the fucking chat. Okay, finally. Fucking YouTube, man. So anyways, the reason I bring up Stephen Miller is, besides the demonization of him, the point that I want to raise with Stephen Miller is that I have listened to him. I think I've read an article from him. I've seen him speak when the one dude, the short guy with the blonde hair that was the press guy, left the White House and he took over for a short span of time. This guy is not stupid. He in no way appears to be a bigot or any, stereotype of like a fucking backwater asshole. He appears to be very intelligent, articulate. He can explain what he believes. He can make an argument for the case of what he believes, why that is a moral position in and of itself. Not just the thing that it must be done in order to live in a functioning society, but simply that this is the more moral position to take. Even on that front, he makes a good argument. And so with that in mind, the only thing that you have to then do for the left is you have to engage Stephen Miller's argument. That is how you actually change someone's mind, but in particular of this comment of this stream, my mind. If you want to change my mind on immigration, all that requires you to do is sit down with Stephen Miller, or just, do a frame for frame of his argument, listen to his argument, cut into it, and give your opinion and argue against it, rebuke what he says. All you have to do is take on his argument honestly, and negate it, or argue a reason why your side is actually more moral, is actually more practical, anything. You just have to take a stance, in terms of a position and an argument, and then argue it. That's all you have to do. And I'm telling you that I have not seen a single argument from the left regarding immigration that is not two-pronged. Ultimately, two-prong of one argument. One, economic. If we don't have mass waves of unskilled labor in the United States, well, who's going to pick the cotton? And again, I'm going to say that's from the left, and that is from George W. Bush. That is a literal quote. That is me paraphrasing what is actually a quote from George W. Bush. If without our immigrants, who is going to pick the cotton? And so as it relates to the globalist right and the utopian left, it is one position. So that's one prong of the argument. The other prong is that it is immoral to say to an immigrant, no, you cannot immigrate to the United States. And it appears as though, and I know how this is going to sound hyperbolic, but it really doesn't appear to be. It is equally immoral to say to a good immigrant, someone that's going to come in and bust their ass, it is equally immoral to tell that immigrant no in terms of their entry to the United States or what have you, your nation, and also to that of an ISIS member, a member of ISIS, I mean, to a terrorist. According to them, it is parallel in terms of being immoral to say to both to say that they can't come in. It is equally immoral. And I know how hyperbolic that sounds, but I'm telling you, the same argument, the same reasoning, the same principle for why it's wrong to block one also applies to the other. And I've yet to see a coherent argument, yet to see it, of why it is wrong for one but not wrong for the other. I've yet to see a single argument why from the left. And I know, like I said, I know how that sounds hyperbolic, but I mean to a point of principle. I don't see the difference being made from your argument, because you don't actually believe even in, I mean, even with somebody like Eric Kane, and I don't want to drop his name to be mean to him, but I debated with him on Twitter, and to me, it's like, even with Eric Kane, who's a sensible guy, he doesn't believe in the concept of citizenship. And he's a normal dude. He's just your average progressive. He doesn't believe in citizenship. He thinks that's some right-wing bullshit, or I don't want to speak for him, but I would imagine that he would say something close to that. That's archaic. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. That's an archaic concept, is citizenship. And I'm sorry, but that doesn't make me far right. That makes you radical. That makes you completely utopian. And unfortunately, in the world that we're living in now, the clown world that we're living in now, Eric Kane is not a radical. He is just another guy on the left. You know, that is the world that we're currently living in. Like, I want to be specific in that I'm not trying to call him out. I'm not trying to name drop him to be mean at all. But I'm simply using him as an example of somebody that is, by all appearances, coherent. This isn't an irrational guy. This isn't somebody that's off the deep end, far leftist, commie, any shit like that. You know, and this guy still believes that. So, in my view, it's a fucking problem. Yeah, there's a bunch of people in the chat honking. It's time to pop that collar. Oh my god, the chat's already getting fucking wild. I'm sorry, we don't have a moderator in the chat, so everybody's getting censored. I'm sorry to those of you in the chat. We got no mods right now, so everyone's getting fucking censored. Sorry. So yeah, let me think about where I can go from there. Where I can go from the issue of Stephen Miller, in that, like, he's not an evil guy. He's simply someone with an argument that no one is refuting. No one's refuting Stephen Miller's argument. No one's refuting him. You know, it's something that is frustrating to me, because he's trending on Twitter right now. He's trending on Twitter Let me grab the article. This is the article that I found. It's from, actually, this is from a couple days ago. Let me see if it actually, let me control F and see if it mentions. Yes, it does. Okay, so apparently it mentions Miller a couple times. Okay, see, we'll read this article. Let me get this on screen and we'll go through it. Just because I want this to be me laying out my point. I don't want this just to be me arguing from nothing, because the issue of immigration keeps being brought up, and the onus is constantly placed on Donald Trump, as though Donald Trump is responsible for this issue. And the answer is no. The answer is that this has long been an issue that has grown into what is being described by practically every side, and this is not my word, but as a crisis. That's not my phrasing. It is, I'm talking about, this is the phrasing that's coming from like NBC, MSNBC, CNN, maybe. I have seen MSNBC and NBC where people have been on and have described it in the sense that what's going on at the southern border has become a crisis. And it is because you have more agents on the ground, you have more arrests being made, you have more people crossing the border, and then you have the issue of processing them or detaining them. And now that you have more and more and more people being brought in and arrested and detained, now you have to process more people, you have to detain more people, you have to put them somewhere, warehouse them until you can figure things out. And according to sources from the White House, the government itself, ICE, and that's being repeated by the media, that our facilities have been maxed out, that we have run out of room to store these people. And I've seen articles that may be hyperbolic. There are articles floating around now saying that we might see tens of thousands of detainees released into the United States simply because we cannot house them. Maybe they're scare articles, maybe that's not true, but that is in fact what has happened with prisons. If your prisons get maxed out, this is something that it happens. Or jails, I think, are more common than prisons. You release people early on probation because your jails are full. That's happened before. I think it's also been in New York as well that's happened. So yeah, there's some mods in the chat now. Thanks for joining, and keep an eye out for the chat. There's been a bunch of shit censored. And so let's read this article. I know I got some super chats. Give me a second here, and we'll do the super chats. But right now, I want to talk about this article this is from a couple days ago, but it has to deal right now with Stephen Miller, once again trending on Twitter, where everyone's calling him a demon. I don't want to see your fucking face, Mitt Romney. Everyone's calling him a demon. Everyone's, again, being hyperbolic and ridiculous about Stephen Miller, when, in fact, the fact is that, like Steve Bannon, all you have to do is present a counter-argument. That's all you have to do to win me over, to win over the minds of people that are not fucking partisan morons or are not utopian assholes. All you have to do is present a coherent counter-argument, so then I can at least acknowledge that you have one. But everything that I've seen has been just economic cynicism, like I personally benefit because I'm an investor, or I have a nanny, or I want some fucking person to cut my lawn or some shit like that. You know, wage slavery. Like, that's the fucking half of the argument from both sides. And then the other half is utopian bullshit is moral. You know, let in the cartel members, let in the druggies, let in the child traffickers, let in all these criminals. That's moral. And we won't distinguish who's who. I mean, there was an article the other day, this big controversy of, I thought it was an immigrant or an illegal was being deported and he was blocked. Like, activists got on the plane to stop him from being deported, and that guy was a convicted rapist. That guy, like, gang raped a woman, and activists prevented that guy from being deported. I saw that floating around today, but I believe it's from an old story. But I believe now the difference is that guy's now been convicted of, like, participating in a gang rape. So that's what I'm talking about here. You're not distinguishing, like, gang rapists from your random Mexican who wants to bust his ass and actually work for a living and send money home to his family, like legit economic immigrant. You know, even maybe that guy's still not, he doesn't consider himself to be American. He still considers himself to be a Mexican national. Like, even if it's a cultural issue, I will at least grant the idea of there is some argument to having economic migrants. Okay? Like, there is an argument for that, even if I don't agree because of the cultural issues that come with it. But the fact is that even that distinction, other than Ben Shapiro, in a borderline dishonest fashion, makes the case for economic migrants when he isn't fucking full of shit. You know? But everyone on the left, I don't even get a distinction. You know, it's the right debating the right on who should be allowed and who shouldn't. It's Ben Shapiro versus Steve Bannon or Steve Miller. That's the fucking debate that's actually happening, in my opinion. Where I disagree with Ben Shapiro, but I at least understand what he's arguing for. I just happen to find it ultimately utopian, even with him. But at least he makes the argument, just half the time not honestly, you know what I mean? Anyways, I'm blathering. President Trump said Friday that he wants someone tougher to lead the country's top immigration enforcement agency, that being ICE, unexpectedly dumping his own nominee for the job to cap a week during which he repeatedly threatened to close the U.S.-Mexican border amid soaring numbers of illegal crossings. So again, this is the Washington Post acknowledging that this is an issue. By you putting that in this article, I'm just going to take your word for it because I don't have the figures in front of me. But this is the Washington Post. It's just accepting the argument that we are dealing with unprecedentedly high rates of illegal border crossings. Ronald Vitello, a 30-year veteran of the U.S. Border Patrol and currently the top official in the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, would have been Trump's first Senate-confirmed director of ICE, an agency with deportation and detention role that is central to the president's promises to crack down on illegal immigration. Vitello was to have joined Trump for a visit to the border in California on Friday, but he was left off the trip at the last minute, hours after the White House notified Congress that the president had rescinded his nomination. Ron's a good man, Trump told reporters as he left for the trip, but we're going in a tougher direction. We want to go in a tougher direction. Decision to ditch Vitello stupefied Homeland Security officials and lawmakers. Some ICE officials and Senate aides were so taken aback they told reporters that they thought the White House had made a clerical error. But Trump had vacillated on Vitello for several months after hearing complaints from senior advisor Stephen Miller, ICE union boss Chris Kane, and others, according to White House aides who spoke on the condition of anonymity to describe internal deliberations. Why am I looking at Mitt Romney? Trump's immigration frustrations boiled over again during the past week as unauthorized border crossings have soared to their highest levels in more than a decade. I think it's even longer than that. The migrant surge has been driven by Central American families arriving in record numbers. That's, you can't see it, but I'm doing the jerk-off motion with my hand. Yeah, I'm sure it's fucking families. It's not getting over all the fucking narcotics in the human traffickers that have, like, human trafficking for cartels is their biggest moneymaker at this point. I've seen several articles documenting people that are in the know that say specifically that human trafficking right now is the most profitable venture, like Blackwater venture, for any of the fucking organized crime groups to do. Like, that's the most profitable thing. I don't think it's fucking families, bro. Vitello has advocated for the president's policies, but he has been relatively restrained in public statements about enforcement matters and does not make bombastic statements. Vitello cannot be reached for comment, but a senior administration official who spoke to him said Votila was blindsided by Trump's decision to withdraw his nomination. During Trump's appearances in the city of Calexico, California, I didn't even know that's a city, Trump did not provide additional rationale for rescinding Votila's nomination. He visited a stretch of recently replaced steel fencing where his administration installed a plaque that touts it as the first section of President Trump's border wall. In fact, the fencing replacement project has been planned years before Trump took office and is where border barriers long have separated the U.S. from the metropolis of Mexicali. Is this a fucking meme? Mexicali and Calexico, California? Are you fucking kidding me? Is that a joke? Like, literally, is that a joke? Is that a real... I'm searching that. That's a real fucking place? That's a... Okay, so that's a city in Mexico. Mexicali. Mexico. And Calexico. Okay, yes. There's apparently a Calexico in New York, in Brooklyn. I think it must be some sort of restaurant or something. And there's apparently a rock band in Arizona named after that. Cal Mex Food in New York City. It is a restaurant. All right, but that is a city, apparently. Okay, that's fucking ridiculous. That's a ridiculous fucking name. That's a cringy-ass name. Anyways, yeah, I'll keep going. Democratic lawmakers Friday filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration, which House Speaker Nancy Pelosi accused of stealing funds from other federal programs to pay for the new fencing in violation of congressional authorizations. If it's coming through in an executive agency, you can't do fucking anything about it. This is one of the things that I can't stand, even with the Trump administration, is if you have the money, and I do believe he has the money, take it from an executive agency. You have that power. If it's an office within that you set the budget for, that Congress just passes, if it's already passed, just use the money. There's nothing stopping you from doing it. So long as it's an executive agency and the funds have already been green light, which they probably already have. With the fucking U.S. military, with the Pentagon, it's a fucking black hole. And no Congress ever is going to say no to the fucking Pentagon. So this is one of the things with Trump. He could use money from the Pentagon to do this, ultimately. There's way more than enough money there to do it. The fucking budget for the Pentagon is something like 700 fucking billion. The wall is around 150 billion for the whole fucking thing. You can use it. You can pay for it in a fucking year. Because fuck knows what even the Pentagon does with the money. They don't even know. Trump did not address the lawsuit because it's fucking pointless. Why would he? But at an appearance with Border Patrol agents, ICE officers, and others in Calexico, the president said the United States doesn't have the ability to accept any more migrants and should turn them away. And I agree. Our country is full, Trump said. I'm sorry, that's the way it is. And that's just a pragmatic argument. So there's an argument. There's an argument for you. Trump says, our country's full. I'm sorry, that's the way it is. That's an argument from pragmatism. Just to offer something that's counter to that. That's all you have to fucking do, you know? Trump also advised border agents to deny entry to asylum seeker families, apparently urging them to make use of a U.S. pilot program that requires Central Americans to wait in Mexico while their claims are reviewed by U.S. courts. You go back to Mexico, and Mexico will take them back to their country, the president said. U.S. officials say nearly 100,000 migrants arrived at the U.S. border in March. So that in 1 month, in the last month, 100,000 people have crossed into the United States. Many of them surrendering to U.S. agents in areas where the United States already has tall steel fencing in place. U.S. officials say 100,000 migrants, or actually, excuse me, I just lost my place. 6 administration officials said Friday that the decision to jettison Vertillo was a sign of the expanding influence that Miller now wields over immigration matters in the White House, particularly as Trump lashes out at Mexico and Central American nations, as well as Homeland Security officials and aides who expressed doubts about the legality of his ideas. Which, I mean, to me, that just begs the question. So we don't have the right to defend our borders. We don't have the right to have borders. We don't have the right to deport foreign nationals that illegally enter the country. We don't have the ability to legally, we don't have the ability to enforce those laws according to this. It's according to these people, according to our own government, apparently according to Homeland Security. We don't have the right under our own laws to enforce our borders, to enforce our domestic policy as it relates to immigration. We don't have that right as a nation. Is that what you're saying? Because I'm sorry, that is a fucking insane argument. What nation in this world doesn't have those laws and doesn't have the ability to enforce those laws? Give me a third world nation, the biggest shithole on earth, that doesn't have these kind of policies in place, if they aren't even more stringent than our own. Name me the country. There's no such nation on earth as an open borders nation, other than apparently the United States. The United States apparently is the only one where you can just enter the country and the government doesn't, according to the Homeland Security, we don't have the actual legal authority to deport these people. You know, what can I tell you? This is the kind of thing I'm talking about. Like, who in their right mind hears that and it doesn't anger them? Other than, like, employers. I'm sure employers love this idea. You know, what's the fruit fucking, let me look it up. It's that fucking Hispanic guy, that activist that went up against the fruit companies in California. Chavez, I think his name was. Let me look up his name. Cesar Chavez, yes. Let me look up to see what the fruit company was that he went against. I don't see it here. But anyways, Cesar Chavez, one of the things that he did was he beat the shit out of fucking illegals. You know? Back in the day, that's what the far left did. I mean, and people talk about unions and all union thugs and that. You know, unions back in the day, left or right, it didn't fucking matter, man. They were fucking running around beating the shit out of illegals, especially out in California and on the border and shit. The far left, and that's what Cesar Chavez was. He used to be strictly in favor of lowering immigration and was against illegal immigration. You know? I think it was Dole. People in the chat are saying Dole. I think it was Dole. Like, companies benefit from this. The farmers benefit from this. What are the industry level farms? Oh God, what are they? Factory farms. Factory farms benefit from this. Okay? And it isn't just the ones down south. Like, there's a bunch of illegals in New York. Every time I go to a pissant town in the middle of fucking nowhere in New York, I'll just be in like a 7-Eleven or a gas station, and then like a dozen Spanish-speaking Mexicans just walk in the door. They're in the middle of upstate New York. What the fuck do you think they're doing? Okay? This isn't Buffalo. This isn't Syracuse. This isn't Rochester. Middle of nowhere, New York. Bunch of Spanish-speaking Mexicans walk in the door. Where do you think they're working? They're working in construction. They're working in making concrete. They're working on farms. Illegally, under the table. For some fucking rednecks in upstate New York. That's what they're doing there. It's because they earn way less. They don't get paid any benefits. And the companies don't have to claim their employment, and I'm sure they do a lot of shit to pretend as though that they're not making money off of that and hide their income and that sort of thing. Companies benefit from illegal immigration. That who's who benefits. And that's why back in the day you had Hispanic union activists literally kicking the shit out of illegals and throwing them over the border. And there's rumors that Cesar Chavez killed some people. And back in the day there were rumors about unions killing people. Even if they weren't connected with the mob like the Teamsters were. Just straight up killing people and burying them in a fucking hole. You know? And I'm not trying to defend that. I'm not saying that, when conservatives say union thugs, like, I'm not even pretending that that's not partially true. Especially back in the fucking day. But we're just in a different country now. We're in a different country where the entire left, not just the far left, the center touching the left, they've completely abandoned labor. They've completely abandoned labor activism. Where it isn't just social justice unionism. We need to unionize the Vice staff. We need to unionize the gaming developers. Cringy shit for people that don't need defense, in my opinion. Or activist teachers unions, which in my opinion, they're just proxies for social justice groups anyways. So what's the point? They're not defending the teachers. They're just defending fucking social justice activism and propagandizing the kids and using dues to pay for social justice propaganda. People talk about socialism. It's just progressive activism now. It's all it is. Anyway, let's get back to the article. But I wanted to raise that point just because, like, I said it earlier on Twitter, and I would like to at some point, like, one of the things I would like to do is Joe Biden just did a fucking ridiculous speech at the biggest electrical workers union in the country that I have a lot of respect for, because my family knows the head of the fucking union, like the national head of the union. My family knows the guy that runs it. And why the fuck are you inviting anti-white Joe Biden to come give you fucking platitudes? Okay? Are you going to invite Trump? Are you? I don't see you doing it. Are you going to the White House, hat in hand, saying, Mr. President, what can you do for me? No, you're writing to open borders Joe Biden, who, if he's elected, isn't going to do fucking anything. What the fuck is Joe Biden going to do on immigration other than, tip his fedora, say, I'm in favor of POC and, like, having a white family is immoral, therefore open the fucking borders. Like, Joe Biden, it was, okay, and this is the thing, Joe Biden, and I changed my mind. I challenge you. People, even earlier, I spoke to my uncle who was saying, like, oh, Obama was the worst. No, I said this to him with Joe Biden. Joe Biden is more anti-white than Obama. I have not seen anything from Obama that even touches on the crazy fucking shit that has come out of Joe Biden's mouth. Joe Biden has basically said that individualism and philosophical liberalism, which is the foundation of the nation, that is whiteness and that we need to overthrow it. Joe Biden said that. Barack Obama has never said anything fucking like that. Never, not at all. So that's my challenge to you. Find me Barack Obama saying that individualism is white supremacy and it needs to be overthrown. Find me something from Obama that crazy. Joe Biden is crazy. And I expect him to sniff some women. I don't expect him to fucking do anything in immigration or do anything at all that's going to benefit labor. So why the fuck is he speaking at your huge conference, your national conference? Why? The fucking active or the labor groups in this country are awful. The biggest unions in the unions that don't actually do insane activism, the ones that are strictly about representing labor interests and representing workers working in many instances very dangerous jobs and getting them good wages and good benefits. Even some of the best unions are just still putting forward just utterly bankrupt fucking Democrats. Why? Why the fuck are you doing it? Anyways, let's get back to this article. So yeah, I just in regards to union activism, like I know that like it's fairly unpopular, and I know that with a certain percentage of my audience, like I know they just do not agree that it is a good thing. But the point that I continue to make is that with the issue of Republican versus Democrat, a union should not be a partisan organization. It should never be a partisan organization. And when one side with the Democrats is doing absolutely nothing for you, and like several people, even what's his name? Trumpka, for the AFL-CIO, which is the biggest union in the country, he has come right out and said that the Democrats have completely abandoned us. They're not doing anything more for us. Okay, then what you have to do is, with hat in hand, go to the White House and try to get Trump on your side. It's not a fun thing to do, and you're going to get a bunch of activists all pissy at you. You have no choice. You have to do it. It just angers me. It's like, let's invite Joe Biden to come speak at our national convention for our union. Why? He's not even up there. He's just pontificating about the importance of labor. What the fuck has he ever done for labor? Ever? What the fuck did Obama do for labor at any point? What did he do? You know, what have the Democrats done for labor ever in the last like 60 fucking years? Why do you make yourselves partisan? It is ridiculous. No other group does it other than something like the NRA, which is because where else do they have to go with the NRA? You know, the NRA, the Democrats use like pro-gun control rhetoric as a plank, as a platform. So with the NRA, it's like, okay, I guess we're a Republican partisan organization simply because, and they're not so ridiculous that they would ever just, or Gun Owners of America. I don't even know if they're as bad as the NRA in being partisan necessarily. But the NRA is a partisan organization. But it's simply because the Democrats, like, they actively, they look at New Zealand and they're like, yeah, that's what we need to do. We need to have mandatory gun confiscation. If you don't give them up, we're going to fucking shoot you dead. Like, if you don't forgo your constitutional rights, we're going to murder you. The state is going to execute you for not forgoing your fucking rights. That's our end goal. It's like, Jesus Christ. You know, that's where I can understand it, honestly, as bad as the NRA is. Yes, Trump, adherent of Lady of Columbia, Trumpka. He's the head of the AFL-CIO. Let's see here. Okay, there's a little bit more here. So Miller has encouraged the president to take harder stances with Mexico than Jared Kushner. Jared Kushner is a fucking globalist who has sought instead to deepen cooperation with the Mexican government. Well, there you go. Miller affirms and encourages the president's most hardline instincts, such as the proposal to shut down the entire border, which it's just a tactic, for Christ's sake. A measure White House economic advisors and GOP lawmakers warned would be catastrophic for U.S. companies. Oh, the economy. Oh, the economy. We're only the biggest economy in the fucking world. Oh, the economy. Growth is good. Unemployment is record lows. Oh, the economy. Ladies and gentlemen, We have hit an avocado shortage. I understand that some of you right now might need to walk away from my stream. You might need to lock arms and embrace your family members at this current moment in time. I understand. I understand if you have to walk away. Yeah, I honestly, I'm at a loss for words here. Okay? Mrs. Obama, get down. We are in the midst of an avocado shortage. And it is simply because Donald Trump is a racist. Who said it? Nurgle in the chat. Literally Venezuela in the making. Yeah, there you go. I mean, today avocado shortages. Tomorrow, I'm walking down the road with a wheelbarrow full of American dollars. Okay, with fucking American dollars in the gutter. That is tomorrow. Okay, the world is gonna end in 12 years, and avocados is the fucking beginning. Okay, you don't get it. You don't understand the what is gonna happen. Oh, here. By the way, I know I'm doing in the middle of a meme, but okay, here's the 4D chess move. Okay, here's the 4D chess move, right? Let's close the border. Let's close the border. We just closed the border. Which states are going to be most impacted by closing the borders? Which states? In the chat right now, shout it out. Which states are going to be most impacted by shutting down the border? Southern border, obviously. And I'm going to wait for the chat to catch up. You tell me. And keep 4D chess in mind as you're answering. Okay, somebody just said it. Abaddon said it. California, Texas, and Arizona. Mexico. That is true, Baczynski. That is true, Baczynski. It is, in fact, going to be Mexico. But it's going to be California, Arizona, Texas. Those are going to be the big ones. And as far as I'm aware, I only know Texas, their economy so much. But to those of you that know anything about Texaco, and know anything about Mexico, or excuse me, Texas's economy, can Texas take the blow? For those of you that know anything about the Texan economy, can Texas weather the blow of closing the border for, let's say, a month? Texaco is their plan, says Alex. Okay, so yes. So the answer is yes. Texas, yes. Okay, there's a Texan in the chat saying yes. Texas has a lot of fucking industry other than agriculture and whatever the fuck they're importing from Mexico. Okay, all I know, actually, where is this bottled? Okay, is it? Okay, god damn it. I'm against closing the Mexican border. There's a Corona shortage. Okay, I can't. Okay, avocados was one thing. Okay, that was day one. We are now in day 3. We're out of Coronas. And it's bottled in Mexico. Okay, literally, you may be literally shaking, but that might be because of actual alcoholism. It might not be the Coronas. It might just be from the alcoholism. I like it. People in the chat are saying fuck Mexican beer. No. No, senor. No, senor. I need the Corona. Anyways, I'm just bullshitting. California is going to be the biggest hit. They are going to get fucking impounded, okay? They might go insolvent if their farmers don't get their fucking slaves across the border to work in the fields. And I'm not even bullshitting. That is, in fact, half of the fucking Californian economy outside of fucking Silicon Valley. A lot of California economy is fucking agriculture. California's already insolvent. Well, my point is that it's like, if I'm Trump, okay, All of you are my advisors. All of you are my advisors, and I'm Trump, okay? And I'm sitting here, I got my 4-dimensional chessboard in front of me. Why wouldn't I close the fucking border? Why wouldn't I? Like, what do I lose? Like, the only people that stand to lose live in California. They would be the ones that lose. And yes, it would be Arizona. You would lose some issues. You have some issues there, probably, because as far as I know, Arizona's economy is nowhere near as good as Texas. But Texas would take a blow that they would likely be able to weather. Arizona would be fairly hardly hit. But fucking California, dude. California would be very hardly hit. It would be definitely hit, I should say, in terms of their economy. And they're the least able to afford it. Their budget's so fucking out of control and always has been that they would be the hardest hit. And it's like, okay, why wouldn't you do it? Like, that's what I would say. Honestly, if I were Trump, or if I were an advisor for Trump, I would just go out there and I would say, California is going to be the hardest hit. Explain to me why I shouldn't do it. Tell me why we shouldn't close the fucking border. Oh, it's gonna hit California the hardest. Okay, tell me what is going to be lost in that. Explain to me. Because the thing is that ultimately, man, I am a fucking political realist. Tell me what the fuck I'm losing. What am I losing? If I'm Trump, if I'm Trump, what am I losing? Like, California is going to go my way next election. Like, California is going to be fucking coming out of the ether and electing 1 million Republicans. Yeah, right. Some of the Republicans out of California have been some of the weakest Republicans in Congress. What the fuck is going to be lost? So, yeah, it's like, to me, it's a threat that only the other side has to lose from. Like, oh, it might hurt the economy. It's like, well, I'm glad that the United States is the largest economy in the fucking world, then. Isn't that a great thing? Oh, tariffs. Ladies and gentlemen, we've just lost, not Pabst, what is it? Heineken's. We're now in a Heineken shortage because we have tariffs with fucking whatever the fuck that exports that beer. Okay, who cares? We're the largest economy in the fucking world. What does it matter? Patrick says in the super chat, you lose small and medium business owners. Are they going to go out of business in a month? And the second case is, guess what? Small businesses and medium businesses go out of business every goddamn day of the week, especially small businesses. Most restaurants don't last a fucking year. All right, Patrick's saying he's playing devil's advocate. Well, fuck it. That's what I'm saying. I'm a goddamn realist. How many of those small business owners vote Trump? As Trump, that's my question for you. How many of those small business owners voted for me? And the answer in California is probably not many. There's some good beer brewery in was it Ellicottville? Ellicottville? I think it's Ellicottville. New York, which is like a ski town. They got some good beer. There's a brewery down there. It's blueberry beer. I forget whether it's a lager or an ale, but it's very good. The blueberry one's very good. Very sweet. Tastes like anyways. Okay, sorry. I'm getting fucking distracted by the chat. I guess I'll get the super chats. I've been yammering. I'll get the super chats. Prince of Conquest says Florida Boomer returns. That's correct. Could have been better, that's for sure. Mobile Crusader says, good to see you back, Louis. Thank you, Mobile Crusader. God Emperoni Chan says, "Hey, dude, didn't hear avocados are literally the basis of the American economy. That and soybeans, by the way. Just cuck and open the borders, dude. You seriously need you need to read my economics papers, dude. I already read the Daily Wire, so I'm aware." Willow Run says, "Hope you enjoyed Florida." Not really. Louis Stream is the best birthday present I've gotten all day. Any decisions on the future of the channel? Yes and no, unfortunately. I looked up, so I'll comment quickly on that. I went online and I looked up a bunch of different channels and were like, oh, you know, this is the kind of technology you need to do if you want to do live blogging, sort of Stick style or Chris Reagan style or that kind of blogging style, where it's probably better quality than even Sticks is not necessarily my commentary, but technology wise, because with Sticks he has natural lighting. That's the perk he has, or he's set up. In total, that's going to set me back like $850. And when I got to that amount, I was like, "Ooh, like, okay, we're going to have to slow that down. Whoa, like, okay, that's a lot of fucking money, and I'm not exactly fresh for cash at the fresh, whatever it's, however it's pronounced, with flush with cash. That's what it is, flush with cash at the moment. So I'm gonna have to put a pin in that and wait, because holy shit, I knew the camera would be expensive, and it is. The camera that I'm looking at is fucking expensive, but it does all the things that I need to do. But it's like, okay, the camera, the lens on the camera, because it's like, well, do you want to go with what's called the kit lens, which is the lens that comes with the camera, or do you want to attach a lens to the camera? And I just went through the whole rigmarole of like watching videos of people suggesting things like what you should do, what's the basic thing, and it's like, okay, here's the cheap version, and that's fucking $850, and it's like, holy shit. So yeah. I don't want to get banned, dude. Oh, Basinski got his fucking thing redacted. Sorry, Basinski. Basinski super chat got redacted. No, dude, Nick just got banned. Nick's got a target on his back. I don't really want to do that. Like, I'm sorry. Like, if it was somebody like Tommy Robinson or somebody that is like a fucking hero, then maybe I'll invite somebody like him on and just bite the bullet, risking having my channel fucking deleted. But with Nick's kind of like an edgelord, and he's got a target on his fucking back, dude. Like the thing that Sargon is lucky is Sargon's lucky he's just too big now. Like, he could still get taken down at any moment, that's for sure. But he's too big ultimately. But he can still get taken down though. But with Nick, he's small enough and he's fringe enough that boom, boot, he was gone. He went on some stream where he said some edgy bullshit. Boom, gone. And I don't want to take that risk, dude. Not for that guy. You know, he's like I said, he's a bit. I don't want to call him a cringe lord. He is kind of cringy because he's just being edgy. Like I really get that Milo sense from him, or he's just kind of being edgy. Generic Bucko claims that Destiny's fans did it. I wouldn't put it past them because they came at me when I mocked Destiny a long time ago. They really came at me, and I know they tried to flag my shit. But because I don't really want to talk a lot of shit because it's like drawing the eye of fucking like autistic Sauron. But his fans are fucking awful. There's only one other guy who I'm not going to name that has worse fans than him. That I've ever directly experienced. Anyways, let me get back to this. So, and the point is that I don't, obviously, somebody said in the chat, and I'll say it for the sake of saying it, obviously, I don't agree with Nick being Nick Fuentes, or however you say his last name. I obviously don't agree with him being censored off of fucking Twitch. I think that's absolutely ridiculous, especially because the cringy shit he said, or the edgelord shit he said, it wasn't on his own channel. You know, it was on some like a drama stream channel or whatever, a debate stream channel. And yet Twitch goes well out of their way to take down his own channel just for the sake of, and the reason is we all know they don't like what he had to say. That's why they took down his channel. And obviously I disavow that and think that he's absolutely in his right, not just he has the right, he is in his right to say whatever the fuck he pleases. He's not out there doing death threats or whatever other bullshit. He's just giving his own edgy opinions. And it's ridiculous that he's being taken down in the way that he was. So yeah, I disavowed, and it's why I'm not on Twitch. A long time ago, I had a bunch of people tell me that I should have moved to Twitch, and I thought they were fucking crazy. A bunch of people in earnest told me to move to Twitch, and I said, you're all crazy. You're all crazy. Twitch is way worse than YouTube. Twitch is way worse than YouTube. Anyways, back to the super chats. Prince of Conquest says, screw the wall. We need the transcontinental moat. Make America an island. I mean, the Canadians are not that big of a problem. I'm just afraid that eventually the immigration is going to catch up with us from their country. And we're going to, because a bunch of fucking immigrants go to Canada first and come to America later. There's a pipeline for that. And I'm not joking. Like, I know I live in a border town. That's a fact. There's a pipeline from people that immigrate to Canada because they have very loose immigration laws, and they then use their Canadian citizenship or legal status to leapfrog into the United States. However, for East Asians, there should be an exception, because I got to tell you, whether it's Ontario or just Toronto, there's a lot of fucking East Asians in Toronto and just Ontario at large. I'm not saying that that's a problem. Okay? So long as they vote the right way. And they don't always do. The ones in California are pretty fucking bad. A lot of them are virtue signaling fucking retards. But there's a lot of East Asians in Ontario, and I'm just saying keep it up, Canada, all right? I'm just saying that's fine. But everyone else, I'm just afraid, man, because I'm surprised there haven't been more terror attacks in fucking Canada, man. I wouldn't be surprised if they were covering them up UK style. Okay? And I'm not joking. Canada's immigration is fucking insane. And there are so many Muslims in Toronto and in Ontario. There are Muslims fucking everywhere. I'm surprised they have not had 10 times the amount of terror attacks. That I can do without, man. That's for sure. Anyways, Darth Faggot gave me $1 or 99 cents. Thank you for the $1, Darth Faggot. With no, you could always just put it in a note, dude. It could be whatever. So long as you're not trying to get me fucking banned. Waiting for that eureka moment says, folks like Eric prioritize, their principles first and what works second. It's not even a principle, in my opinion. It's a utopian ideal. I don't, again, I'm not trying to badmouth Eric. I really don't think it's a principle. First and what works second. Folks like Miller understand making decisions that may not seem popular at first, but pay dividends in the long run. Absolutely. I agree with that. I think that Miller's position on immigration is multifaceted. I speak only to it in the moral sense simply because of the other side's argumentation, because that's literally all they fucking have. But with Miller, it's very much multi-pronged. It's very much several things going on at once. And I think that, honestly, the biggest argument for limiting immigration is the deterioration that is happening in the United States. Like, it's a big meme right now of Clown World, Hong Kong, that whole thing. I'm telling you, a big reason why we're seeing so much going wrong in the United States now is because our immigration rate is simply too high. Like, it's not a matter of, like, culturally, not physically, we're not full physically, but culturally we are saturated. That's how I would articulate it. Culturally, we are at a saturation point where we can take in no more, because culturally we are disintegrating. We are falling the fuck apart in this country. where we simply don't agree what it means to be an American anymore. Because half the fucking people are running around saying that citizenship is bullshit, and the other half are fucking people that have come here legally saying that they're still, they don't consider themselves to be American, and fuck America. You know, they don't even recognize our government. That's incredibly dangerous. So culturally, in my view, we're definitely in a moment of crisis. You know, physically, obviously, we can always build more fucking condominiums and more houses, and the housing market in my area is insane at the moment. Like, it really is. Like, I can't speak for the rest of you and wherever you live, but in my area in Western New York, dude, nonstop, endless fucking projects of houses being built, apartments being built, townhouses being built, just endless fucking houses being built. And it's like, there's real estate for sale fucking everywhere. Who the fuck are you building all these houses for? It's in my area right now, man. It's crazy. The real estate market in my area, man, it's out of control right now. It really feels like a bubble, because it's like, yo, you're building all these houses. Where the hell are the jobs? Where the hell are these people going to work? You know, they're not going to drive to Toronto and back, or Rochester or whatever. Where the fuck are these people going to work? It's, man, I'm telling you, the real estate in my area is insane. I've already talked about University at Buffalo before, which is the biggest university in this area. It has either quadrupled in size or centupled in size. And I did an investigation there, whatever it was, yesterday, I think it was, where I tweeted out that I saw a student running like Shaggy. I was at student housing, like recently built student housing, investigating a fucking nearly 40-year-old student. And it's amazing. It is like centupled in size as a campus. It's fucking insane. Since I went there, it's nuts, man. Thinking of moving to New Hampshire. Any info you can give? I don't know fuck all about New Hampshire, bro. I live in New York. I don't even know if I've ever been to New Hampshire. Anyways, back to the super chats. Christian says, from 10 to 10, how correct is the honk or Clown World honk Clown World meme? I'm not 100% on it. Like, I think, is it like someone in the chat or in a super chat's going to have to explain what the meme is precisely? I asked somebody earlier today on Twitter, and they didn't exactly know the meme itself, but it's like, I know what Clown World means. Like, we're living in a world that's so ridiculous that it's a clown world. Like, that's the saying, that's the expression. But apparently there's like a new meme that involves like Clown Pepe or something like that. Like, I don't actually know what that means. I've seen people say that it's like nihilistic, something like that. Like, the earth is fucked, like something like that. And I frankly think that that's very hyperbolic. Watch the Clown World video on YouTube. Is it a video? Is that the meme? I haven't heard anything about a video. It's racist. Don't use it. Are you from Right Wing Watch? Clowns wear whiteface? Is that what it is? So someone's going to actually have to give me what it is, because now I'm getting contradictory fucking explanations. Anyways, Sojlink says, cat question when? I'm pretty sure if you mean the cat girl question, I've already answered that. It's one of the rules on my channel, the laws that I have invented. Julian says, look at Ask Plunk World's biggest tree service company got a $90 million fine for hiring illegals. Holy shit. The Dashing Rogue said there's no alternative Lou. That might be in terms of immigration, ironically. Dylan says, I think Joe... Oh, no, that's the unions. That's what I believe that comment's for. Dylan says, I think Joe Biden is so touchy-feely with people because he's still taking Quaaludes to get over his the death of his son. Yeah, that is a quote from Gavin McInnes. And I'm not sure. I know that that's just speculation on his part, but I don't know, man. Like, especially the one video of him sniffing that woman's hair while the husband's right in front of him. I don't know, man. I honestly think that he may have been fucking like wasted on something, and it might be Quaaludes. Like, it is honestly just speculation on Gavin's part, but I honestly think that in some of those instances he must have been fucking high on something, because he's just acting in general so fucking weird. Patrick says, okay, you lose small, medium business owners. Basinski doesn't say anything. Ryzuska says you should invite Nick Fuentes on a stream. When I already commented on that. John says, have a pittance for your home repayments. Yeah, for my mortgage. Tell me about it, bro. Is that like $2 Australian? Basinski says, no redaction, just said nothing. Patrick says, have you watched Shapiro's Yang interview? Some of Yang's solutions are dumb, but he shits on Shapiro's economic propaganda. I don't know, because Yang economically sounds kind of fucking retarded with his Neat Bucks initiative. Like, that straight up is fucking retarded, and I disavow the Yang gang and their Neat Bucks fucking retardation, okay? I'm done with fucking welfare practices. No more fucking welfare programs. No more. We got enough. We got enough fucking parasites. We got enough fucking handout programs for people that don't want to work, which is all that half of them are for. Okay? No more fucking welfare handout programs for fucking parasites in our society. But it would be funny to see even somebody like Yang fucking shit on Shapiro, which pretty much everyone that goes on his channel that isn't ultimately in the like globalist club or the I guess neoliberal, like however you would describe that sort of position. If you're not in the club, like you honestly just, and it is like, I've seen a whole bunch of different kind of conservatives just come on his show and just say like, no, bro, that shit's retarded, like right to his face. And it is because it is retarded. It's utopian nonsense that is just like, oh, it's an investor's wet dream and no one else's. And by the way, it isn't like, if you are philosophically conservative, like, I want to hear your argument for fucking open borders. Like, are you kidding me? It's crazy to me. I'm a philosophical conservative. I'm a traditionalist. I think culture and the rest of it is evolving too fast. Things are too progressive. This and that. Like, we're losing our faith, et cetera, et cetera. Open the fucking borders. Bring in the papists and on one end, and bring, especially in a Protestant nation, and bring in the fucking Muslims. That's going to do wonders for a Christian nation. I want to hear it. I want to hear a fucking philosophical conservative argue in favor of fucking open borders. Like, holy shit. I love how in the chat, everyone always shits on Ben Shapiro for his thing, because the thing is that he doesn't talk about it at all anymore, because I think he realizes how much of a meme it is now of him in Israel. Like, he never talks about Israel in the context of or he never talks about immigration in the context of Israel, because he is flat up just like closed borders on immigration when it comes to Israel. Like, and it's not a meme, it's not a farce, it's not a joke. He's flat out just closed borders immigration for fucking Israel, because he's a pessimist on like integration for Arabs in Israel, because as far as I can tell, even Arabs are not really integrating all that well in Israel. Like, there's an Arab party in Israel, straight up, just we're the Arab party. Like, holy shit. Like, yeah, that's working out well. Yeah, I don't want to say that Ben's an ethno-nationalist. I don't want to say that, because with Jews, even, like, there isn't a single ethnicity of Jews. Like, that is technically false. There's several different kinds of ethnic Jews. And I don't know if Ben Shapiro actually views it in that way. Some Jews do. I know that. Some Jews are ethnocentrists or potentially ethno-nationalists. But I'm not going to smear Ben Shapiro with that because I don't know if that's true. People are claiming he is. Send it to me on Twitter if you... Okay, there was one article, but he disavowed that article. I will say that I have read one article from Ben Shapiro, and I brought it up in a stream before, where it was just straight up ethno-nationalist propaganda. Like, that... In terms of a fucking woke take or a hot take, holy shit, that might have been Ben Shapiro's most spicy take ever, was saying basically Israel should be an ethno-state. But he later went on to disavow that position. He disavowed that on his own website and has disavowed it many times. But holy shit. Oh, man, was that a fucking hot take from him. He is definitely pretty radical on Israel, man. Holy shit. Anyways. Bar says, just saw Hotel Mumbai. How soon before you think we no longer have seated flush toilets instead of just a hole in the ground? I don't think that we'll ever go that far in anywhere but big cities. Like, I mean, people are already shitting in the streets of San Francisco, but I'm pretty sure half of them are fucking homeless people. Or more than half, most. So we're doing Indian practices of just shitting in the streets, but in terms of shitting in a hole in the ground, I'm not really sure if we'll go back to that, really. Miguel says, have some of my Brazilian money, my dude. Thank you, Miguel. Bob says, wait, are you Canadian? No, I live in a border town. The closest province to me is Ontario. And I'm pretty darn close to Ontario as well. And if you're smart, you can triangulate which county I live in. It's not hard to figure that one out. God Emperor Oni-chan said, God, why I smear Milton Friedman literally said this in a textbook. Just open the borders and it will all be right. Also, Christianity and the social fabric will arise once more. Fucking somehow. I have to say, God or Emperor, like, I don't even know if that's fair with Milton Friedman. Like, I like, that is in my view, that is like the intellectual godfather of someone like Ben Shapiro and many, many others. Like, there are many people on the right that think like Milton Friedman is a fucking god. But he was utopian. He was utopian. But the thing is that I don't even know if he had the second half of that. I don't know if he included that. Because as far as I can tell, like the Friedmanites, they don't give a fuck about culture. They don't care at all about culture. Like they are, I don't even know if I want to call them like materialists, but they disregard culture entirely in terms of their worldview. It is economic autism. That is the best way to describe it, or capitalism autism, where culture is not even something that even factors into your worldview at all. It is simply what is best for the corporate board, what is best for the investor. That is what is best for society. That is their worldview. Culture, as far as I can tell, other than being pro-capitalism, like, that's the only thing that they believe. And I'm not just saying that. Debate academic agent on economic autism. I don't really want to. I don't want to debate people that are economic autists on fucking economic autism. Like, they're just utopians. It's like talking to a communist. Like, how far is this fucking conversation gonna go? It really doesn't, like, I understand like the benefit that one could glean from it, because even as manic and over the top that I can be, like, I would be the sane person in the discussion, and I know that I can make several good points that they would never be able to counteract, other than, well, think about the economy, Louis. Like, that's the only fucking thing they're going to be able to fucking argue, because that's their entire worldview. But it would be like debating a communist. They're that utopian. The chat's getting too hot for me. They're getting too many hot takes. Siley says Shapiro is Jew first and American second. I don't want to necessarily agree with that, but I can tell you that he talks out of both sides of his mouth. I will say that. He makes a big deal about, oh, well, saying dual loyalties is a fucking anti-Semitic meme. But it's like not to the extent of dual loyalties, but identitarianism. That is true. It is unabashedly true, and you can't escape it. Jewish identitarianism and collectivism is a thing in the United States. And I'm sorry, it's no more appropriate than black nationalism and black identitarianism. It's no more appropriate for this country. I don't like it. I don't think it's healthy. I don't think it's healthy for the adherents. And it tears away at the social fabric. And the people that are members of, that are Jewish identitarians, they're just as guilty as black identitarians, and all the same tactics, other than maybe marching on the streets and punching cops, something like that, But the pressure tactics, the smearing, the slime, the claims, the use of activist organizations and getting people fired and censorship, and that all that, they do the exact same shit, man. I've seen it. The Jewish identity groups, they're just as fucking bad. They're just not as dangerous in the direct way of going out on the streets and fucking shooting at cops and shit. Academic agent voted Remain. Ew. Oh man, the chat is too fucking, it's too woke for me. I have to disavow the chat. I'm sorry. The chat's getting disavowed. Prince of Conquest says universal suffrage was a mistake. It's just amazing to me how that keeps coming up, and it's less and less of a meme. It really is. It's hilarious. Well, I'll say this. This is going to be a hot take. And I'm not saying that this is me giving a flat statement. If I believed it entirely, I would just state it and be unapologetic for it. But here's a pre-apology. I'm tipping my fedora. I'm giving a pre-apology if I am in case mistaken about this. But it appears to me, based on what I have seen, that some percentage of women believe that the state is ultimately their husband and their father. That is how they view the state, and they vote on that basis. And I will once again tip my fedora and give a post apology that, as I said, a certain percentage of women view the state in a ridiculous manner. Am I going to get disavowed by the chat? I've seen people disavowing me. Am I getting disavowed for that statement? I can't believe it. Pop collar. I can't. That meme, I swear to God, it's just funny to me, the things that become memes on my channel. And that's so funny right now, the pop collar meme. That's such a fucking great meme. That to me is an organic meme. It calls back to me to my high school years, man. I swear to God, how many kids legit wore pop collared polos and shit. I'm not even joking. A bunch of preppies and jocks back in the day, dude, they were popping their collars. That is a legit something that happened when I was in high school. Bazinski, you should have said no disavowal pops collar, but no disavowal pops collar. Oh man, I hope that fucking meme it lasts, man. I hope that lasts because holy shit. It's just a funny memory about high school for me. And maybe it's true for a lot of people. Maybe I just went to a weird high school back in the day in the early 2000s, but man, Kyle the Cuck got his collar popped by Big Daddy US government. What do you mean by that, Nicolo? Hot take, women shouldn't vote. Yeah, yeah. That's what Obama was to many women. I mean, that's the thing is Obama really was like a messianic president. Like he legit still has like a cult of personality around him. And I don't even blame him. Like I don't even think it's his fault. I just think that he was a good speaker and he was very good at platitudes. He's also very clean cut, and I think that it worked very well for him. He had very much a very professorial style, and I don't mean that in the sort of bad sense of an academic, but like an authority figure. He carried himself very confidently and well. I think that in a political sense, in terms of being a straight politician, campaigning Obama wasn't very strong, but Barack Obama was very good at presentation. That's where I give him a plus. Okay. I didn't watch that debate, Mitch Connor. I didn't watch it. I don't really care. I don't watch debates with fucking Destiny, dude. Like I don't want to talk shit because his fan base are fucking rabid. I can't stand how Destiny debates people. He challenged me to a debate and I fucking turned him down. I'm like, no, dude, I'm never gonna fucking debate you. You're pure tactics and it's cringy as fuck, dude. I'll debate Hassan Piker. Okay, I'll debate that fucking cringe lord. I don't want to debate fucking Destiny, dude. It's insufferable. It's insufferable to watch. Yeah, Hassan Piker is a cringe lord, but dude, I don't know if I agree. People are saying he's worse. I don't know if I agree with that. You guys can debate it in the chat. You guys can debate it who's worse in the chat. I don't want to watch it. Like Hassan just comes off as fucking stupid. Like that's it. Like that's his worst quality. Stupid. Well, there you go. Okay, great. But I don't know. I don't see anything from him that's like tactically irritating. He's just dumb. He's just irritating because he's dumb. He's especially for AIU. He's a local for AIU. And that's it. Like, do I really want to take issue with somebody who's just a punching bag for AIU? You know, AIU got bored with Keek, so now he's mocking Hassan. You know, I'm surprised people aren't talking about Sargon being a shit debater. That's the thing I'm surprised by. Because every time he debates somebody, everyone's like, oh my God, Sargon, you're such a terrible debater. And I don't even know if I necessarily agree with that. Sargon, see, I say it, and then now it's gonna happen. He did okay this time. I think he's decent at debate. I know that I don't think that he's tactical at times, but I would say that he's a decent debater. I've listened to several debates with him where people said like, "Oh, he wasn't that good," and I was like, "No, I'm pretty sure he held his own." The only one that I think was hard to watch was the one that he did Mythicist Milwaukee with that Tom guy, that leftist blogger dude. And it obviously wasn't his fault. It was because the other guy was a fucking idiot. You know? Like, and the thing is, like, that is like, oh, how is that his fault? Or that other guy, that fucking cuckold from atheism, from the atheist movement, the guy he debated the next time, who showed up, who just cucked in the first 5 minutes, who like bowed his head and like conceded every one of fucking Sargon's points. It's like, how is that Sargon's fault? And I remember right when that happened that a bunch of people got on his case. Richard Carrier, that was his name. A bunch of people got on Sargon's case for being too aggressive, but it's like he thought he was going to show up and have like a legit hardcore debate, and this guy was like flat up like bowing his head for everything, and it's like he was mystified by it, and he thought it was like, I assume he thought it was a fucking tactic. But the guy was just trying to duck every fucking question. Okay, anyways, enough of talking about Don Carlos. Gray Cub says academic agent is for limited to close immigration. Oh, sure. Classical positioning says, I guess I'm not alone in having watched American Krogan's recent video like 12 times over. I know who American Krogan is, and I have watched a couple of his videos. I'll look it up. He's kind of out there a little bit. I think he's okay on like culture war stuff. Okay, his last video was the Jordan. I watched the Jordan Peterson video. I don't think I agreed with it entirely. So yeah, I don't know if I agreed with that video, but I do think that he has made good points in the past about, especially the culture war stuff. But he starts to go into like, I don't want to say white nationalism because I think that's overplayed as a statement, but like white identity politics kind of stuff. Like he definitely crosses the line in a few ways, and it's like, like I can't follow you there, brother. Like, I'm not really on board with that. And I know how that's gonna sound, and I'm not trying to badmouth him, but he gets into it. He crosses the line a little bit. Ragnar says Richard Carrier was way worse. Well, he was worse in that it was far less entertaining. The Tom guy, Tom Smith, whatever his name was, he was way more entertaining because he was such a fucking cringe lord, and Sargon was laughing the whole time. That was the best part. Was like watching people just yell out "Free Kekistan" and just laugh at how ridiculous it was. At least that was entertaining. The Richard Carrier one was just kind of boring. And it was because of Richard Carrier. Like, I put full blame on him. He said that he was going to show up and debate, but he just freaking bowed his head in the first fucking 5 seconds. Somebody said he went to shit. Who? Talking about what's his face? Krogan. Well, people in the chat are saying that I need to distinguish what I'm talking about here. Like, there's degrees by which, that the idea of like of white identity or the recognition of one's ethnicity. Like, there's degrees in which that is acceptable to me, okay, and there's degrees to which it's inappropriate or something that I ultimately don't agree with. And then it gets to, it goes on to the point where I disagree more and more as it continues on. And the point in which that I refuse to cross the line is the difference between Devin Tracy's idea of, maybe even with Devin Tracy, it's like I can understand, but I don't necessarily agree with the idea that like I'm proud to be white. I don't think that to me is my question is, what is white? That is my question, and I've yet to hear a coherent answer. What is white? Who qualifies as white? And there appears to be no coherent answer to that question, other than the idea of like whatever, like a Nordicist, whatever it's called, that Nordic people are considered white. Like I honestly question whether Greeks and Italians are in fact white, and whether people that are from the Nordic region are the same as those in like Eastern Europe, like Russians. Like are they the same ethnically? So I don't really that to me is the point in which where it's like I'm proud to be white. It's like, okay, well, what is white? That's the position that I'm at. Honestly, like I legit don't I can't get past that point. So even with Devin Tracy and the idea where he says I'm proud to be white, and the idea is that the reason why he says that is in distinction to not having white guilt. That's why he says that. That's why he says that in particular. He's not even what I would consider like a white advocate, which to me is the next step. There's my position, which is, okay, what even is white? Like, why are we even distinguishing this? And what is the distinction even? Then there's, I'm white and I'm proud to be white. I don't have white guilt, which is Devin Tracy's position. Then the next to that is white advocacy, which is the idea that, similar to all these other identitarian groups, that white people should not be left out in the cold and there should be an advocate for them. Now, that's where it starts entering. That's the step in which I can't follow, because I am an individualist, and that, in my view, is in its very nature, even if it's well-meaning, it is still collectivism, and that is the step in which that I am not willing to take. That is my line, where I just say, okay, no mas, I am not with you. And it's not to say that I don't understand the position that they're coming from, in which they say, they look at all these other people and they say, well, everyone, like you have Joe Biden, who's running for president, who's a serious contender for 2020, just out there saying that he's against white people, that a revolution that needs to happen in the country is not only white people becoming a minority, but also that the concept of individualism is whiteness, and it needs to be extinguished in the United States. Like, that's fucking insane. So, obviously, that is something that's real. And it isn't just something that is, just a myth or some non-existent issue. And so I can understand why people would see as though that advocacy is something that they would need to do simply because of the other groups. It's defensive in nature. Anything past that point, which is where you get into the identitarian movement, white identitarians, and so forth. You just go past that. That to me is where I say that I'm 100% not a part of that, and I want no association with it. In fact, that's my position on it, is with the white advocate types that are doing it in a defensive sense. Like, I'm not part of your group, and I'm not on board with you philosophically, but I can at least understand to some degree where you're coming from, because it's crazy right now. But I'm like, I guess, 3 steps below that. That's where I'm at. But yeah, maybe at some point I'll do a video on Joe Biden or something. Like, I don't even know. He has to enter the fucking race whenever the fuck that happens to even consider it. Where that especially the one video of him talking about individual. Well, he doesn't flat out say it, but what he means is individualism. Individualism is whiteness. That is his argument, and he says that we need to dismantle that. We need to overthrow that in the United States. That is some of the craziest shit that I've ever heard out of a politician before. Like, that is something that I'd expect from some like black nationalist lunatic South American politician, or South African politician. Okay, that's like some legit communist insanity that I would expect to hear from someone like that. Not from fucking the former vice president, you know what I mean? Who's also white, by the way. Kyle says, if I ran a Twitch, I would have a separate service for the talk show, politics, people like Destiny. Also, Sargon did great with Nick against Destiny. That's good to hear. I just don't. Maybe I'll look at it tomorrow or something while I'm working and doing nothing. Maybe I'll have a look at it or something. But like I said, I just can't stand listening to Destiny and the way that he debates. It's literally how he debates. Like it's awful. It's awful. I can't even think of someone to even compare him to. That's how bad he is. Mighty Balzac says, white is something you can hate openly. Yes. And that's why I say with the white, the white advocates that are in the defensive posture, those are the that's why they exist. In my view, it's so crazy right now with anti-white rhetoric. It is so commonplace that there's a reason why they exist, and I think it is just basically because there is just widespread anti-white sentiment, and it's popular, or not popular, but it is mainstream. Put it like that. It's not even as though that it's just ready to go rhetoric out of your average person's mouth, but it is present. It's omnipresent, and it is something that you are not punished for saying. You face no punishment for saying that kind of shit. And it's crazy. Baczynski says Northern Italians are much closer to Swiss and like to distinguish themselves from Southerners. Greeks and Southern Italians, like Portuguese, are not white. Well, Baczynski, are you white? I mean, in the Hispanic sense, you might be. Because I know that there's the whole thing with Hispanics. Like, there's non-white Hispanics, and then there's white Hispanics. Like, a lot of Mexicans debate that shit. I don't understand it. You're all Mexicans to me. Not you, Baczynski, although that would be funny. That'd be a funny one-liner. It's like, Brazil, Mexico, you're all Mexicans to me. There's some boomer Republican rhetoric for you guys. You're all Mexicans to me. Oh man, we got some fucking hot takes in the chat. Oh man. I have to disavow. I'm sorry. Like, even though I'm joking, man, I got to disavow the chat. Look at the Google pic, judge to see if I'm white. Well, I could see the small version of it. Can I here, let me see if I can expand your profile. Well, I can't tell. I'm going to leave it up to the chat. The chat is going to have to debate. I'll have a straw poll on Twitter. Is Baczynski white? And I'll link to your channel. Why do you keep... Strike Team, why do you keep bringing up Ben Shapiro's sister? Anyways. Man, we went way off topic. We have lost the topic. All right. Topic is gone. I guess we're just going to limit this to one fucking article. Oh, man. I really got to get better at streaming, man. I really do. This was supposed to be a newscast. I'm going to have to retitle this as a hangout because it was supposed to be a newscast. I did one article. And we're going like 2 hours. What's your thoughts on Sargon and V pushing Gabon and Center versus peer-to-peer solutions like Mastodon? Where you can own your own shards? Try chat with V about this, but he quickly changed the topic. I don't know. I mean, Dissenter seems like a good idea, and it's obviously, Andrew Torba's brainchild. I don't really have much of an opinion on it. I haven't used it. I know what it is, but I haven't really used it. I haven't really felt the need to really have to comment on something. If I comment on anything, it's like almost always it's just on Twitter, and it's not like you can block me from commenting on my own fucking Twitter feed, Do I think the Western world is slowly descending into a bloody conflict? Some countries, not really many. Even I think some are. I don't want to talk about East Asian politics. I'll check Twitter really quick to see if anyone's linked anything. Uh, nope. That's it. Got nothing else going on. France? Yeah, well, France, in my mind right now is the one on the brink, man. I don't have an answer. Mainly misheard asked me what's the future of my channel. I don't really have an answer right now. I didn't really have a great vacation. I don't really need to go into why. The hotel sucked ass. But I don't really need to go into exactly what the issue was. But it wasn't really a good vacation. I didn't really have a decent amount of time to think about what I wanted to do. The only thing that I managed to do was like I looked up the full blown, like not Tim Pool style face cam, but like the Styx Hexenhammer style face cam, and that shit's gonna set me back $850. And when I figured out how much it was gonna cost when I added it all up, I was like, holy fuck. Like that, the best case scenario, man. That's something that I'm gonna have to fucking wait on for a couple months. And in the meantime, I'm just gonna have to try to come up with something, hobble something together. Like I'm just unfortunately in a bad position where like I'm still black pilled on gaming, and it's like that has put such a bad. It's put me in such a. It's dampened my mood so badly that it's like I really don't want to talk about much because of that. But I'm still considering what I want to do. Josiah says, quit your job, and if they ask why, just pop your collar. Then you could focus on content. I mean, sure, but I couldn't afford to do it. Like, my mortgage payment is fucking $900 something a month by itself, excluding all other costs. Like, I can't just quit my fucking job. I got a mortgage to pay, dude, and they don't give a fuck. The bank doesn't give a fuck, dude. They want that money. Bob says, try this again. Mastodon is where the hentai is moving to. Most of Lolicon, JP Mastodon federations are there. I don't know if I've maybe heard the name. I've heard some other name for some other like weeaboo, like Discord equivalent or something. I don't have a fucking roommate. I don't want a roommate. I've heard way too many horror stories about roommates. Oh, hold on. Somebody just asked when the next. Oh, I guess I don't have to go get my phone. I got it. I got it in my on my calendar. They released it not that long ago, like the full list. It's like one is. Let me look it up. It was like a PC Gamer article. Let me see if I can find it. Why am I getting irrelevant articles? Okay, I think this is it here. Oh, actually, where is it? No, these are old. Fuck. Where are the new ones? Fuck it, I'll just have to use this one. Is this the only fucking one that's new? Why is there a picture of fucking what's-her-face on here? There's a picture of Chloe on here. Why is there a picture of Chloe? Anyways, let me share my screen here. So because somebody asked, the next episode of Life is Strange. Okay, yeah, it's May 9th. That's the next episode. They actually have the other one. There's I think the last one is in August. I should just go get my fucking phone, honestly. You know what? I'm just gonna go get my phone. I looked this shit up, and it's like, you updated the fucking article, and they released them all at the same time. Okay, May 9th. August 22nd is episode 4. And episode 5 is it December? Yes, the last episode is December 3rd. And I have them all on the calendar on my phone. Because I'm looking forward to them. What can I say, man? By the way, I'm not linking this shitty article from this dog shit website. Fuck your website. You're not getting linked. Fuck you. Get all the information next time, and then you get a link. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Dean Domino in the chat, which is a great New Vegas reference. He says, I need to get better at Life is Strange 2. You couldn't even unlock the ending where Captain Autismo gets hit by the cop car. Dude, hold on. I want to look up that video, yo. I'm looking up that video. Oh god, what was the kid's actual name? Like, I don't want to call him Captain Autismo because that's not his actual name. Captain, somebody in the chat. What was the fucking kid's actual name? Captain what? Somebody shouted out. I don't remember the fucking kid's name. Spirit, thank you. Captain Spirit. I forgot the kid's fucking name. Spirit. Life is Strange 2. I'm like, you're already laughing. Because it's supposed to be tragic, but it's fucking hilarious. It's fucking hilarious. Okay, let me get this on screen. There's gonna be a stutter because of the setup or the encoding or whatever with Google Hangouts. So you'll have to forgive that. But we'll watch this together. I haven't seen this, by the way. I have never seen this. I never looked it up. And I will give credit to actually, I'll hold off in giving credit before we see the video, because this might be like a YouTube poop bullshit version.
Move your ass, bro. Oh, shit. This way.
There's no music.
Wait, covered film?
Do you turn off all music? Oh my god, it's the police! Oh no! Oh no! Oh my! Did you hear the fucking crunch? Did you hear the... Yo! Did you hear the fucking crunch? Oh, hold on, let me turn that up. I'm gonna turn this shit up. Holy fuck. Oh my god. The cop's just standing there. The cop is just standing there. Oh my god. Okay, I'll give credit to Rabid Retrospect Games here. I'll link to this video on his channel. Oh my fucking god, dude. Oh my god, that's just too crazy. I can't believe They made this thinking like this is going to be like a dramatic moment where people are going to feel bad. We're like out of the gate, they were calling this kid Captain Atismo. Like it was everywhere. Everyone was calling this kid Captain Atismo. Like it became an instant fucking meme. And you end that segment by him getting hit by a fucking cop car, and the cop is just standing there. Like what cop ever would just stand there after hitting a fucking kid? I saw a fucking brutal video earlier today where like some people were garbage picking, and this cop comes up to him and be like, "Hey, you gotta get." It was a female cop. You gotta get away from the dumpster and stop dumpster diving here. You're trespassing. And they have this pit bull on that doesn't have a leash, and the pit bull tries to bite the cop, like jumps and tries to bite the cop. Cop, like fucking Deadeye style out of Red Dead, pulls out her pistol and just pops the dog. And it was probably one of the most brutal cop shoots a pit bull videos I've ever seen, because the dogs are flopping around, dying. And they're like, "Oh my God, you shot him!" And it's just like, yeah, it's a pit bull without a leash. And it's literally trying to bite the face off of a cop. I'm trying to remember why I brought that up. Oh, yeah. Because the cop was like apologizing the whole time, even though she shot a dog that was literally trying to attack her. And like, I have seen cops render first aid to people that have been shooting at them. Like, that is just standard protocol for cops, is once you neutralize a suspect, once they're in custody, you immediately start giving first aid. That's standard protocol for all police departments, all sheriff's departments nationwide. That is standard practice. So, what world are we living in where a cop runs over a child and is just like, whoa, that was crazy. That was crazy, dude. I just hit this kid, bruh. I'm just going to stand here. It's just ridiculous. But, yeah. In my view, it's one of the reasons why that game is so fucking funny is because it is literally a game made by a bunch of fucking beta Frenchmen who think that American society is this fucking wasteland of incompetent, overzealous cops and like didn't do nothing fucking minorities and dykes. Like, it is such a fucking meme. And the thing is, too, what I'll never understand for the life of me, there are people that unironically like this game. They unironically think it's a good game. And I'll never in my life understand like what kind of acid trip is going on in your mind to think that this is anything other than shit. But it is like, it's equivalent to like what you'd see on Red Letter Media of Wheel of the Worst, where it's so bad it's entertaining. It is genuinely entertaining because you are watching someone comment on something that is just self-evidently bad. And you're enjoying it. We're all enjoying it together. We're all enjoying the fact that this thing is just horrific together. But to me, the difference is, unlike some of these movies that everyone thinks are bad, people like this game. Like, they actually think it's fucking good. Oh, man. What's great, I will defend Life is Strange 2 in that it is less boring than Before the Storm. Before the Storm is just boring. It is a boring fucking wannabe visual novel. At least with Life is Strange 2, it is entertaining. It is entertainingly bad, okay? It is so bad, it's fucking hilarious. Oh, man. Captain Autismo, man. He got crunched by that car. Captain Crunch. Oh, man. Well, I don't know what to say. I don't know what choices in the game you need to make to have fucking Captain Autismo get hit by the car other than you don't intervene. Like, you have to restrain Daniel to not intervene, and that's when he gets hit by the car. Greatest moment in video game history. Okay, so to be serious really quick, I got to be serious here for a second. And I'm going to type this out, and I want everyone in the chat to respond. I want everyone in the chat to press F for Captain Autismo right now. I want a sign of respect for Captain Autismo. Hold on a second. Hold on. I need to get it up, okay? This is a very serious moment right now, everyone. Okay, hold your Fs. Hold your Fs. Hold your Fs right now. Stop in the chat. Stop right now. Stop. Stop in the chat. Hold your Fs. Hold your Fs. And I'm going to, hopefully, did I mute myself? No, okay. Hold on. I got to get it up right now before we continue. Hold your Fs. Okay. We all ready? I want to make sure that this is loud enough. Hopefully it's not too loud. Okay. Get ready. Get ready, everyone. Ready? Okay, we're getting some blinking here on my end. Why are we blinking? We're blinking. You're ruining my bit. Okay. Oh, press F. Pay respects. Press F to pay respects, ladies and gentlemen, for Captain Autismo. What the fuck is this? What the fuck?
Hey, buddy, sorry. My wife's right in the middle of giving birth, so I'm not going to be able to hang around forever here.
I don't know what that was from. Oh, man. But yeah, press F to pay respects. Oh my god. Is there anything? Okay, you know what? Hold on. Let me get to the emojis here. Let me see if I can find a better version of that, because that hold on. Okay. Oh man, I'm gonna like start choking, dude. Give me a second here. I gotta set this one up. Hang on. I gotta set this one up. Hang on. Hold everyone hold your Fs. Hold on to them. What the fuck? Come on. I'm trying to set up this fucking joke here, and Twitter or YouTube is fucking me. Is there no American flag emoji? God fucking damn it. Hold on. I'm looking up an American flag emoji. This fucking thing is ruining my bit. I don't want America Samoa. American flag. Ah, what the fuck? Well, I don't know. I can usually find it pretty easily online. I'm having, like, I got it for America Samoa. I don't know why I can't find the fucking American flag, for crying out loud. There is a Google one. There is a Google American flag emoji. What the fuck is the text? There's the code. Let me see if this works. I'll type it in. It doesn't work. There's no American flag emoji. It ruined my bit. Now, there goes that bit. It's ruined. Thanks, YouTube. It could have been a funny joke, but you fucking ruined it. God damn it. Is there a cross? I didn't see that. Is there a gravestone? Is there? Hold on. Let me have a look at these emojis here before I continue on. I want to see if I can I want to see if I can fucking salvage this. What do we got to work with here, for crying out loud? Come on. Oh, man. There's got to be something here. I think this might do it. Okay. Okay, we got it. Instead of 5 American flags, we're gonna do this. Okay, we're gonna do this instead. Okay, you ready? We're starting again. We're starting again. I'm gonna try to work on the volume here to make this just right, because I want this to be loud enough to be impactful for all of you. Turn this shit up. Press F. Press hand. Put your hand on the coffin. Press F. Press F and put your hand on there. Pay respects. This one's better. Captain Tismo, you didn't deserve this. You didn't deserve it. He was just trying to save people, man. He was just trying to save us from the snow monster. You didn't deserve it. Okay. Oh, man. That has to be one of the greatest memes to ever come out of fucking Call of Duty. It has to be one of the greatest memes. That was so fucking stupid. I can't believe they did it. Oh, man. Fuck YouTube, though, for almost ruining that bit. Somebody said earlier, read some articles. I don't know if that's happening, dude. I don't know if there's any articles getting read in this stream, man. I think we're well off base at this point. Mossad is behind Autismo. Yeah, it's the truth. That's right. I don't think. What if Mossad? What if that cop was an agent of Mossad and he took out Captain Autismo? What if that's the case? Oh man. Man. He was our best agent. All right. Is there anything else, or we should wrap this up? Because we've been going for quite a while now, and I should honestly go to bed because I got work. How are individualists going to persuade blacks, Latinos, and Asians to give up their group identity? Seems pretty utopian to me, big guy. Well, the numbers say otherwise. Black males say otherwise in terms of the demographics and the way it's shifting currently. Asians is a little bit of a harder case because I think that it's just a fucking a cultural issue. They just seem to be going alongside. They use all the rhetoric of and the thing is with Asians is that they're not even really that identitarian. They're just like a lot of them are weirdly into the social justice shit, and I think that's just fucking group identity, or not group identity, group think. I think it's just that kind of thing. And Latinos is just, it's a cultural issue. It's not even like the black thing. The issue with black identitarianism it's a lot of stuff that's going on. But with Latinos, that's just a failure of integration. It absolutely is just that. So I don't agree with your assessment there that that's utopian. It's just a failure in our culture. Bazinski says Pitbull got shot. Rest in peace, Mr. Worldwide. No more vids with J-Lo. Oh, no, not that Pitbull there, Bazinski, but good joke. Newbin gave me $1 with no message attached. Mobile Crusader says F for Captain Autismo. So, oh, Jesus. There's some fucking spicy takes in the chat. Do we got anything else that we want to... I should play more SGW games to mock and grow my channel. I mean, the thing is that there's not really many of them that are worth playing, honestly. Like, the SGW games that exist, like, a lot of them are just fucking boring. And so is, like, even with Life is Strange, like, Before the Storm, it's fucking boring. It's just not fun to play. Like, I was going to actually play it and mock it and all that. It just looks fucking boring as shit. Or it is, sorry. It is boring. I played it. I didn't even finish it. It was so boring. Like, there's parts of it that aren't wholly bad, but it's not bad enough to be entertaining. And it's not entertaining in its own right to just be worth playing. It's just not very good. I watched Angry Joe's. Someone just said play Division 2, and it's like I've watched Angry Joe's review of it, and he's like begging, okay, yeah, think about playing it, and it looks awful. Easy way to gain subs is collaboration vids with other YouTubers. Yeah, I've reached out to a few people, and with Mueller, I've given him 2 dates that I'm available, and he's just working to confirm with the other people that are part of his podcast if they're available. In terms of the other people that I've reached out to, no one's said anything to me back. I said Mueller, not Mueller. It's not happening. I've reached out to Scrump. I've reached out to Dev. Neither one are responding to me. I don't want to cover the Vic stuff. I've already commented on the situation in anime. I don't really see the point. Get Angry Joe on? Yeah, that'll happen. I watched Dev's videos. I don't agree that he's acknowledged it. Persona 5 is overrated and gay Persona 4 is the best. What's gay Persona 4? I guess that's just a troll post because I don't think there's really anything gay about Persona 4 other than that one character is like implied to be bisexual. Get Adam Sessler. I don't have enough coke to get Adam Sessler. I'm sorry. Who got in a tiff? Who's he, Tangent? He and the Quartering got into a tiff. Oh, it's Angry Joe. Okay, never mind. Yeah. Well, it's not politics and gaming. It's just because fucking Angry Joe is like a ridiculous anti-Trump partisan. And he just says a bunch of bullshit on Twitter because Trump brought up some shit about Puerto Rico because it's a fucking black hole of American tax dollars with the most corrupt fucking government out of any of our territories. It's like, it's hard to fucking defend Puerto Rico if you're being honest. Can I send you a copy of Titanfall 2? I don't want it. I've looked it up online because I had Rags recommend it to me. I don't want it. Save yourself the money. I don't want a copy of Titanfall 2. I read enough where I unsold myself on that game, so I'm not really interested. Get Steve Bannon. That would be a fucking great stream. I'd love to get Steve Bannon on. Get Captain Teasmo on the stream too soon. Sealy, whatever. That's too soon, man. I'm sorry. Somebody on Twitter, have I read the open letter to open-minded progressives? Maybe. It's not ringing any bells. Get Jordan Peterson. Okay, that's enough in the memes. That's enough in the memes in the chat of getting Jordan Peterson and all this nonsense. Get David Duke. Jesus. I'm not going on Vox Day stream. Vox Day is like crazy. Yes, I have played the Wolfenstein: The New Order. If that's the first one of the new series, I have played it. I thought it was boring as fuck. I've had Raging Golden Eagle on my channel before, I'm pretty sure. I don't really know what we talk about. Like, the only thing that I could talk about rage about is fucking anime, which I don't want to talk about, or gaming, which I'm sick of talking about. Because neither one, it's going in any good direction. I don't know if any of you are paying attention, but it's not in a good direction, and there's no sign of it in any way going in a good direction. Hard Bastard doesn't like me, so it's not really going to happen with him. I was just on a stream with V. Do a weekly review of what? Just of the news? I mean, that's something that I had in mind of, like, just doing the news every week. But I don't know if I could do it. Like, my schedule's so fucking insane all the time. All right, well, let's wrap this up. Let's wrap this up. I appreciate everyone stopping by and commenting and all that jazz. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I'll do my best to think about what I'm gonna do with my channel. Like I said, I still don't know what I want to do. Obviously, in fucking May, I'll do the next episode of Life is Strange 2 and that. You know, the obvious things that I want to do, that I should do, that everyone enjoys, that I'm also enjoying, I'll do that, obviously, so long as I have the time to do it. But it's all the other stuff, you know what I mean? I just don't know in that sense what I want to do. Because like I said, the full-blown blogging, like Sticks equivalent, it's expensive, and it's going to take me months to actually be able to afford that. So I'm still considering what I want to do and what I want to do with the future of my channel. And I appreciate your patience for those of you waiting. And there's a good chance that regardless of my thoughts, that I might just use the standard format and do a monthly video for Subscribestar for my supporters there, just so I can say that I'm not doing fucking nothing. So I'm planning on doing that, just so I can say that I'm not doing absolutely nothing. But besides that, I really don't know what I want to do at this point. And I'm just thinking about it, you know, every day, what I want to exactly do with it. But anyways, I appreciate all you that stopped by and are supporting my channel. that donated to me tonight and with the super chats, and the people that are still supporting me on Subscribestar and all that jazz, and the people contributing in every way, whether it's super chats, visiting my affiliate links, or just commenting. I appreciate your support, and I'll do my best to see if I can come up with some more content for the near future. But otherwise, I will talk to you later. And thank you, Tangent, for the support at the last second. Thanks for the one article. Thank you, Tangent, for the support at the last second. Thank you. I'll talk to you later.